Christian Arcand.
Things can't always work out the way we expect.
Christian and King, ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Streaming live on ESPNNewHampshire.com. Christian and King. Here's Christian Arcand and Tom King.
Think of an eye, all of a sudden you're excited on the bench and you think you got some chances, and then it's kind of like what just happened here. But that just happens. It's hockey sometimes. It's playoffs. It's going to be a long series, and we're looking to bounce back.
Gallagher steps back in. Watch by Boychuk. Save. Rebound wide open. Placated. Then to Preston. He triple runs up the scrolling. Rask, and they battle away some more around behind. Take it to the back. Weaver shot. He scores! And a little feed by Krejci. Lucic and in. They stay in counts. We will see. I think Lucic put it in with his glove, Doc.
On review of the play, there was no goal. The puck was directed in with the hand. No goal.
And then Subban yet again. Onto the back to Markov. Hands across Pacioretty. Subban there. Sent one in front. Score! Subban with it again. Back across for the hold there in the return. Drive! Score!
It's part of hockey. It's part of sports, and it's part of the playoffs. We'll work hard, and it happens. It's they got the first one. Now we want to get the second one.
Marchand to the back. Hamilton with a shot. Score! Getting there at Bergeron. But it's kicked along by Weaver. Reached by Marchand. Then the shot. Score! Bergeron!
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I don't only see it on the ice, but I also feel it around the dressing room and everything else. We're a very focused group right now, and the challenge is we got to stay there.
It is Crew feeding one across Smith. Score! Riley Smith with the puck being slowed down by Brendan Gallagher just at the last second. Beats Carey Price. Ducked along at the half boards. Gotten there and swung back out. Lucic with the net open.
Third and final hour here, Christian and King, ESPN New Hampshire. We're streaming live on the ESPN radio app and on ESPNNewHampshire.com. Tom King. I'd just like to point out, this is my first montage I ever made out of a dubstep song. And I know it sounds like I'm probably speaking Japanese to you right now, but I'd just like to point out that nothing exploded, nothing burned down. Society is still intact, despite
you panicking all day Saturday
I panicked
and
pretty
driving
hard.
me crazy.
I know.
He drove me crazy.
Did it really bother you that much?
Yes.
It did?
Because
having to answer 3 text messages?
More than 3.
All right,
you
4,
me?
maybe 4 at most.
Maybe 5 or 6. How many did you get, Jim?
Jim got a few.
Here's the best part about it. He says he's now in the Fleet Center, and he's at the Garden. I'm here.
Right.
And there's not a lot of seats. What should I do?
Right.
Christian, what was my text back to you?
You said stand.
Stand.
Right.
I know what? I just typed back stand.
Yeah.
Like as if you and I are going to go up there and create him seats.
Do you know
I didn't ask you to do anything.
Do you know why it was really bugging me?
I was asking for a little help, that's all.
Oh, was
And I had no. You know why?
He was at a function.
I was
He
at
was
a
at
function.
your
I
dinner.
had a plate of food in my hand.
Oh.
Yeah, now that's the last time you want to interrupt Tom King.
I couldn't. I had to put it down 5 or 6 times.
You didn't have to answer me.
Do you know what that's like?
Cold. I got food.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't have to answer.
I had
first
the
of all.
world's best meatballs sitting on my plate.
And
They were
second
ice
of all-
cold by the time I was done with you.
First of all, you didn't have to answer, and second of all, it was my first game. I didn't know what I was doing, and I asked, "What should I?"
Follow the crowd.
The crowd all sat down, numbnuts. If I was going to follow the crowd, I'd have a chair.
Well, he's got to look at the sign to look for. You actually had you had a seat, by the way.
Nah, we
ESPN New
didn't.
Hampshire. It's on the board.
It was not on the board.
I'm sure-
I looked at that board a lot that
I'm
day.
sure it
Trust
was
me,
there.
it was nothing
Now,
there.
the best part was I'm actually sitting next to me with the icon of sports calling a basketball game with Dan Patrick.
Right.
On the other side of me, I had the future senator of New Hampshire, Scott Brown, on my other side. And here he is texting me. All I could do was type stand.
Oh, you were at that function out in
I'm
Portsmouth.
up at Portsmouth with
That's
Nick.
Portsmouth, right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
Dan
Well, I
Patrick
first
and
of
I.
all didn't realize that,
It's okay.
there was so much
He was
exciting
eating
stuff going on.
meatballs, and I'm with Dan
Let's put it-
Patrick, and you're
let's put
trying
it
to
this
figure out
way.
where the hell to sit down.
Let's put it this way.
I love you guys.
Let's put it
Have a
this
great
way.
show.
No, you're not gonna love this, Jim. Hold on. Let's put it this way. There was a reason why you were the one who had to go on
Right,
Saturday.
yes, I know.
We were at events.
We were busy.
I understand.
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
Isn't it kind of cool up there?
It was
Networking
fun.
And meeting all the people that you talk to, but you never get to put a face with
Exactly.
a face?
That was the best part of it all. Meeting
Okay.
Hags and DJ Bean and Emily Benjamin, all those people who
so
I've
you-
talked to but never
He
met.
walked
Was
up.
really
He
the best
walked. You know
part.
what happened to him? No, he walked up to me and they go, "Where's Tom?"
Oh, yeah.
That's the reaction.
I believe it.
No one said that.
Do you know that the best part of going to the game with Tom is the table he was at was like the best eating table of
Really?
all media before we went upstairs.
Doesn't surprise me.
And I found out that there was a dessert area. I'm not a big dessert guy.
Right.
But they had this red velvet chocolate cake. Tom saw the size of the
You
thing.
should have seen the cake he had.
You could have flown you could have
I
flown
didn't
about
touch
30
it.
people
I
on
had
it.
2 cookies. That was my dessert.
All right.
And I was done at the record show when I
Yes.
ate those cookies.
Yes.
Downstairs.
Yes.
Before the game.
Yes.
That was it for me for the night.
That was it. He wouldn't eat anymore. And he
Wow.
walks laps in between periods.
In
He
between
walks
periods, I
laps.
walked the concourse.
He walks the concourse.
Wow.
But he walked it 5 times because of the overtime.
Someone's
It was the
very
overtime.
committed to
Yes.
physical fitness here. Is
Yes.
what this sounds like to me.
Well, I mean, please.
Yeah, of course.
I'm glad
You don't get to look like that if you don't commit to it.
Exactly.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
I did, absolutely. And I'm
glad.
sorry if I bothered
good,
you guys. Let me just say, the
Christian.
only reason I did is because I didn't want to look like a jackass. That's it.
That's okay.
That's the one
That's
reason.
all right. You made me look like one when I had to keep putting down the
Putting
food.
down the food.
Exactly right. Exactly.
I
I'm
didn't
sure
know.
everybody judged you at the party for having to answer
I was
the
waiting for you to
questions.
respond back like, ha, 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 when I said,
Well, no, I did stand, but I didn't want to stand behind everybody because that's what Tom Rowe does, and it drives me nuts. Tom Rowe constantly is just standing behind me while I'm typing on my computer, just breathing and just standing behind me, and I didn't want to be that guy. So
There are ushers that stand behind me there.
Oh, yeah.
all right,
Security
there are
guards.
so
people
what?
that
I want to
stand
be the
behind.
I want to be the
People
usher
stand-
now.
people
No,
stand behind.
whatever. It worked out. Everything
I'm
was
glad you
fine.
had
Hey, we
fun.
got Shred on the line. We don't want to keep
Went
him
well.
glad
All
you had
right.
fun.
Yeah,
Have
we
a
have
good
to
show,
get
fellas.
to a guest. Thank you, Mr. Sensabel. Jim Sensabel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to our guest right now. That was an interesting little derailment of the conversation. But joining us now here on the program, he is the author of the blog Circling the Wagon on WordPress, circlingthewagon.wordpress.com. It's the best AHL blog on the internet by far. Here to talk with us about what happened to the Monarchs and what's going on with the Bruins. Shred joins us here on Christian and King. Hi, Shred. How are you?
Hi, Christian. Hi, King. How are you guys?
Good.
we're good.
You believe this crap they're giving me here because I didn't know where to go and my
Surprised
first
he didn't-
ever game.
Surprised he didn't text you, Shred.
You were next.
You know?
I'd never covered a Bruins game before.
boy.
No idea what I'm doing, and these guys are acting like in the middle of the birth of their first children, ran in and yanked them out of the delivery room. I mean, my God.
Just about. Just about.
What
I was giving birth to a plate of meatballs and hot turkey sandwiches.
Very nice.
But anyway, Shred, clear up the mystery for us. What happened to the Manchester Monarchs?
Nothing happened to them. I mean, they drew a really good team, as we discussed. The Norfolk Admirals are a really good team. They have so much depth, veteran depth on D, and even their rookie, Sammy Vatanen, who came back from Anaheim and was allowed to be in the lineup for Norfolk. I mean, he's a great defenseman. He's small, but he's really good, versatile. I mean, when you get guys like Garnet Exelby, who is, I think, team captain for the Providence Bruins last year, Nolan Yonkman, you've got a lot of NHL experience there, Jesse Blacker. I mean, the list goes on with their defensemen that they have. And then John Gibson in net, I mean, great USA goaltender. I mean, they just ran into a wall. And as we discussed last time, I mean, the Manchester Monarchs are the San Jose Sharks of the playoffs.
Yeah.
They just can't seem to throw around and advance. And, I mean, look what the Kings did to the Sharks.
Morris called Gibson the best goaltender in the AHL. Is that? Do you see it the same way?
I mean, wait, John Gibson?
Yeah.
That's what Morris said.
Yeah. Huh?
That's what Morris said. Morris called him the best goaltender. Morris called John Gibson the best goaltender in the AHL. Do you agree with that?
He really
Is he? Okay.
He really could be the future best goaltender in the AHL. There's no doubt about it. I mean, and this guy, he is not going to last. I mean, Anaheim's got some kind of tough decisions to make, and they already made one by dishing off Victor Fast off to, I think, Calgary. And they still have, Jonas Hiller in net. They have Gibson and, their third goalie is escaping me right now. Oh, Frederick Anderson, the Danish goaltender. I mean, they've got a bit of a logjam in net right there as well. And I mean, if Anaheim doesn't go deep, if LA knocks them off, Jonas Hiller could be the odd man out.
Shred, do you think that Manchester getting bounced in the first round was the biggest surprise so far of the playoffs? Or were you not?
It was a surprise because they were the first round seed.
Right.
But if you look at at least if you look at the AHL Eastern Conference, you'll see that the lower seed knocked off the higher seed in 3 of the 4 rounds.
Yeah, except St. John's.
Wilkes-Barre knocked off Binghamton. Norfolk knocked off Manchester. Providence just knocked off Springfield on Saturday night. And then St. John's were the only ones. And as I was saying, St. John's, I think, is one of the toughest teams to play against in this AHL postseason.
So what's next for the Monarchs here, Shred? Obviously, they had a lot of guys get called up to Los Angeles this year. They did have, including their goaltender. Now, Berube had a nice season. Do you expect that this group, in whatever sort of, I don't know, I don't even really want to call it a group because there's so many moving parts, but do you think this group will have some sort of core that'll be able to come back next year and be competitive again?
As long as the guys aren't on the, last year of their third, 3-year entry-level deals or 2-year entry-level deals. And I do think that they have they still have a lot of guys coming back. I mean, I think they returned something like 17 or 19 players from last year's team. And I think that they're going to return a lot of players again. And, I mean, really, it's all about the parent club. It's all about L.A., And, I mean, they've got some really good young guys as well, like Forbert is really strong on D. And, I mean, I think that he's only in the first year of his entry-level contract. So they do have a lot of guys that'll come back, and I mean, if a guy like Lyndon Bay is on the last year of his entry level contract, then I mean he's probably going to be back. It just makes it tougher for them if they want to call him up and then send him back down because a guy like Lyndon Bay might not make that much money, and another team might look at him and go like, hey, you know what, we want him.
He just got called up now. He just got called up.
Oh, of course he did. He got called up to be on the Black Aces, So, I mean, Fraser got called up, Berube got called up, Lyndon Bay got called up, Bernard Chuck got called up, Andrew Campbell got called up. So, yeah, all those guys, I mean, and those are the guys, I mean, will they bring – I think that Bernard Chuck has another year in his two-year deal, or he might be on the second year, but he'll probably be brought back. Andrew Campbell will probably be brought back. So I do think that a lot of the guys will be brought back. Ruby's on the last year of his 3-year entry-level contract. I do think that he gets qualified pretty easily because he had a great year, and I do think that he could be the part of the future of the LA Kings organization because he's not that old. But I mean, Jesus. Jonathan Quick and Martin Jones, that's a great 1-2 punch, guys.
Yeah. It's a bit of a log jam there, too, for someone like Berube. We're talking with Shred of the Circling the Wagon blog over at WordPress. Go check it out. Shred, you mentioned the Providence Bruins who beat Springfield 3-2, another lower seed beating a higher seed. They're going on now to play Scranton Wilkes-Barre. How far can you see the Baby Bruins going here?
They could take care. I mean, Wilkes-Barre is a really strong team. They had the lowest goals against average in all of the AHL this year, the top 2 netminders for them. But Providence, I mean, they just seem to get it done. I was at the game on Saturday night, and Malcolm Subban didn't last, but neither did Mike McKenna in net for Springfield. Svedberg let up a goal on his first shot, but so did Anton Forsberg for Springfield, and then both goaltenders sort of shut the door. It was 6-3 was the final, but one of them was an empty net goal, and one was a very clean goal off of Forsberg. So I mean, they could go far, but last year, I mean, they're going to have to erase that beast from last year, where they had I think that they had the 3-0 series lead or the 3-1 series lead, and then they lost the series to Wilkes-Barre. So they're going to have to get that monkey off of their back. And Wilkes-Barre is a very good team, lots of weapons, including, former and current NHLer Chuck Kobasu's in their lineup.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Chuck
just been on
Kobasu.
fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still around, huh?
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think that Wilkes-Barre is going to be a very tough team to beat, and I do look for Wilkes-Barre to. I think that St. John's will probably take care of Norfolk because Norfolk also has some moving parts with Anaheim.
Right.
They just called back up Richard Raquel, so I'm not 100% sure that Norfolk will get through another round. But I mean, if they do, then I'd almost pick Norfolk as the favorite. If Norfolk can sustain another round, then I do almost favor them. But I think that St. John's Ice Caps are the toughest team to beat in the Eastern Conference.
You mentioned Malcolm Subban. When Tuukka Rask was with the Providence Bruins, he was known as a mercurial goalie who was inconsistent at times. What is the word on Subban?
I think that he's really good. I mean, people have to understand he sort of started as a goaltender later in life. I mean, I think that he didn't put on goalie pads until he was like 12 years old. And he's really, all the Subans are just incredible hockey players.
Right.
I mean, there's another one in the pipe as well. So, but because the Bruins have depth at the goalie position, because I think that Johnson gets brought back in a heartbeat, if not signed for another 2 years.
Really?
With an extension. And then you've got Svedberg. I almost think that Subban's a little bit of trade bait now.
Okay.
Because we can't keep him in our organization. He's that good, though. I mean, he'll probably return us. And I think we talked about it before. If we can package up Jordan Caron, if we can package up maybe Jordan Knight and package up Subban, I think that we can get something good in return for them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Something to think about. Definitely.
Interesting. A first-round pick. He was a first-round pick. So
it's really all conjecture.
Sure.
Who knows what Peter Chiarelli is thinking on this? But when you look at the team and the depth they have at the goaltending position, you're just wondering, like, which shoe's going to drop? Are they going to deal a Svedberg because they feel like Subban's got more of an upside and they don't have to? I think Svedberg's on the last year. No, maybe he's got one more year of his entry-level contract. So, I think for one more year, you're probably good. But if you give Chad Johnson 2 years, 2-year extension, then you might be wondering, like, all right, what are they going to do with the goalie logjam?
Why would you give if there's such a goalie logjam, why would you give Johnson 2 years instead of 1?
Johnson, why you give him 2 years?
Yeah, why would you give him 2?
Because Chad Johnson did so well for the Bruins this year.
Okay. All right.
And I do think that the Bruins are the team to beat. I don't think that anybody, if you look at the Western Conference, I mean, even if you look at the Eastern Conference,
right.
I don't think that anybody wants to play the Boston Bruins.
No, I don't think so either. I think they're the favorite to win the Stanley Cup right now. I clearly do.
I absolutely think that they're the favorite to win the Cup.
Shred, in a playoff situation, when you're the Montreal Canadiens, and you have a 2-goal lead going into the final period on the road, and if you hold on to that, you go home up 2-0. What is the effect? Well, it got to be short term because it's only a 7-game series.
It can't be long term.
Right. What is the short term effect of blowing that lead in Game 2 for the Canadiens?
They have to etch a sketch their brains. Just like the Bruins did in 2010 after losing that series to the Flyers. You just have to etch a sketch your brains. I mean, you gotta understand that was one game. That was a miraculous collapse on their part. Oh my God, I can't believe. I basically said, like, Montreal's going to take a 2-0 series lead. It's going to be tough to come back from that. But I also do know, and I mean, we all know, Boston's the best third period team in the league. I don't even know what their plus is, but I think it's a plus 60 or something. In the third period. And Boston showed that resilience, in the first game by coming back. They scored 3 goals in the final period of Game 1.
Yep.
They and they came back to score a bunch of goals and win, big in Game 2. Montreal just has to sort of just say, like, listen, forget about it. But, I mean, I think that this is a team that watches a lot of videotape of the third period as to, like, why they collapse. Because the Canadians are too good of a team to collapse like that, especially on defense. I mean, you have such depth at defense with the Montreal Canadiens that I am shocked. I would expect the Bruins with, with a Hamilton, a Krug, a Bartkowski, even though Mazzaros played in game 2, and I think that Bartkowski is effectively sitting now.
Okay.
I think that Mazzaros just basically claimed his spot because he played so well in the second game. Even if they lost, I thought he played very well.
Okay, which was
I mean, he got an assist on that first goal, and I just think that he's less of a liability back there.
Yeah.
And I thought that Bartkowski was a huge liability in game 1.
Yeah,
and then, I mean, huge. I mean, just terrible. He played horrible. I mean, you could also say that Milan Lucic played horrible in game 1, and you'd be right as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to track Milan Lucic with radar and trying to figure out where he was.
I said that. I said that after game 1 as well. Not a lot of people didn't think so, but I said, you kidding me? He was awful. In fact, he was slow. He looked very slow in game 1.
I think he always
was
slow.
horrible. It was like he had a drinking night the night before the game or something.
Yeah. Shred, I'm wondering if that's the case with Mr. Pacioretty over on the Montreal side, because he hasn't shown up yet. I mean, we're 2 games in, and I don't think I've heard his name once.
He's been there. I think he's on this line with Desjardins and
Vanek.
And Vanek.
Yeah.
But I mean, Vanek. I mean, that line sort of hasn't really. For as small as he is, David Desjardins has been kind of like the spark plug and the guy on that line that seems to be pretty effective. I mean, I think Pacioretty shows up. I mean, maybe he doesn't. I mean, who knows? I mean, Pittsburgh's still looking for Sidney Crosby.
True.
So I mean, I do think that Pacioretty does show up. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, we were at game 1. We got to attend that game, and that was a lot of fun. And thankfully, we left before PK Subban scored that overtime goal because, dragging a 2-year-old out of the building would have been just really tough in that case.
No
and then just all the
That's
racial
right.
hatred
The station had a 2-year-old at the building on
they're
on Saturday
about
anyway.
me, Shred. They're talking about me.
He was staying up late that day, but he did fall asleep for the overtime period, and that's where we made the decision to all right, time to pull out of here.
Yeah.
And then we heard that on the walk back to our car, we did hear that PK scored that goal, and it was just all right, that's probably the right decision.
Yeah.
And then again, just all the racial hatred was just it just made me not like Boston Bruins fans that much more.
Yeah.
And it's just it was horrible, and we should know better.
Shred, I don't.
Yeah, but a lot of that was from around the country. It wasn't.
Shred,
from,
I mean, that was on Twitter. That was on Twitter when that happened.
Yeah.
If you want to find racist stuff on Twitter, you can find it anywhere after any game.
Oh,
I mean,
sure. But I mean, Bruins fans just in general should know better.
I suppose.
I mean, they should. I mean, Malcolm's his brother, part of the system. Jerome McGinley, he's a black guy.
Right. Yeah.
Come on, folks.
Anson Carter played here for years. I mean, I don't think it was really as. I think there's just a couple of knuckleheads out there with 9 to 20 followers who tweeted some racist things. And then the worst part, though, Shred, what gets me is that these reporters, and I use that term loosely, go and retweet them all. No one would have ever seen this. It would have just never been.
Yeah.
But if you're going and retweeting somebody who's tweeting to his 9 friends, hey, PK Subban's an N-word, I mean, you're never going to be able to get rid of those people. It's not against the law to tweet that, unfortunately.
No,
Maybe it should be, but it's not.
You're right.
I just feel like
You're right.
everybody glomming on and giving it all this attention was just made it much worse than it actually was.
Sure. But I mean, just with the whole Donald Sterling thing and stuff,
Yeah.
I just thought it was
Bad
wrong
timing.
place, wrong time.
Definitely.
Yeah, bad timing.
Not that there's ever a
Exactly.
good time for that, but it was a bad time for it to exist at all. I hear what you're saying. Shred, thanks so much. Great stuff from you. As always, check out his blog. It's called Circling the Wagon on WordPress, and it's the best blog on the internet. Thank you, Shred, so much.
We will check
Thank
you out
Christian.
later.
Thank you.
in the car.
Thank you, King.
Yep.
Go Bruins.
All right, adios. That's Shred checking in right there. Once again, his blog is called circlingthewagon.wordpress.com. It is fantastic. And while I do disagree with him on the Bruins fans' racial tweets and whatever, I wasn't saying that there's ever a good time to tweet racist things. There isn't. But I'm saying if there was ever a bad time for there to be attention brought to it, this was the time because of Donald Sterling.
Blown way out.
Way out of proportion. I mean, come on. Listen,
Boston's
got its issues that it's had in the past, but let's be realistic here. Boston's maybe one of the most liberal, progressive places in the country.
Yeah, but
outside of San Francisco.
That stuff didn't come from Boston.
It didn't come from Boston.
That's exactly it.
And even if it did, you're gonna what? Say that 5 or 6 or 10 or 15, even 20, 25 people in one region speak for the entire fan base?
No.
I mean, come on.
I know.
That's
really.
absurd. And the people who are pushing that agenda, I feel like, are making it worse than the people who actually wrote the racist stuff in the first place. Because, I mean, listen, at this day and age, there's people out there with ignorant opinions that they can put on Twitter whenever they want, and there's nothing anybody can do about it except ignore them. And these people chose not to ignore them. Instead, they chose to retweet them and make them famous. And, now they have hundreds of followers because, well, hey, look, this guy was in the newspaper, or this guy was here, this, that, whatever. It's stupid. Just ignore him. Why give him attention? I see no way that does anything productive at all. Except make a whole fan base look bad.
Oh my God! Does it? I mean, this stuff is
silly.
unbelievable.
All right,
but isn't it interesting in the AHL? Norfolk, Manchester, L.A., Anaheim.
I know. I was thinking that.
How about that?
Crazy.
Huh? I know.
All right, 603-883-9900, 883-9900. Text in 50352. Christian and King will be right back.
Attention lacrosse fans, the show that you've been waiting for has finally arrived. ESPN New Hampshire presents FNL Lacrosse, live every Sunday morning on 900 and 1250 AM, ESPNNewHampshire.com, and on your smartphone via the ESPN radio app. You'll hear from the top local college and high school players and coaches, plus you'll get the best analysis and even recruiting tips. It's FNL Lacrosse, Sunday mornings at 9 on ESPN New Hampshire.
Get to Peters of Nashua's huge Kia clearance sale going on now. Peters Kia must clear out their remaining 2013 Optimas and Optima hybrids, and that means huge savings for you. How much will you save? How about a whopping $5,680 off MSRP on a 2013 Optima hybrid? And that includes Kia's standard 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Find this and other offers at peterskia.com. Offer valid on stock number 13K523 with MSRP of $27,580.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of scholastic club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Over the last 8 years, 59 of the 64 New Hampshire All-Americans were Tomahawks players. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. The Tomahawks offer indoor leagues along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams, so play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Visit nhtomahawks.com.
Wendy's presents The Fish Doctor.
Excuse me, but is your fish cod of the genus Gators?
Yeah, it's a premium cod sandwich from Wendy's. What, are you a fish expert?
Yes, ichthyologist, actually. But I've never seen cod so golden, so crispy.
Oh, that's the panko breading.
Naturally, it mixes best with tangy tartar sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I'll need a sample. For science?
I suggest you sail on over to Wendy's.
Wendy's Premium Cod Sandwich. Flaky North Pacific cod in a crispy panko breading.
Now that's better.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time.
Hi, it's Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture, and if I never see another snowflake, it'll be too soon. It was a tough winter, but the day that pitchers and catchers reported, I got spring fever. If you love to put your feet up and enjoy the game, check out my Apollo bonded leather sofa and love seat with 4 built-in recliners. Ultra comfortable with my famous Bobopedic cushions. Only $9.99 for both pieces. Only at My Bob's Discount Furniture and online at mybobs.com.
Ever heard that expression, moving heaven and earth? We've used it in sports, also in society. It sort of reflects the determined intention to achieve a goal, regardless of the odds. There are legendary examples of players and teams who have reached deeper in the postseason to achieve those ultimate goals. In designing and building their new light-duty truck, Ram has moved heaven and earth. Full-size pickups, as you know, are a very competitive business, and battles are waged. The pursuit and the commitment of Ram has paid off with a forward-thinking, innovative, and class-leading full-size pickup that's about to bring the truck world to its proverbial knees. 2013 Ram, full-size pickup, the first one to achieve 25 miles per gallon on the highway. That beats Ford, Chevy, everyone else hands down. New 305 horsepower Pennstar V6, best in-class fuel economy, 8-speed transmission, plus the active grille shutters, the air suspension system, found only in a Ram truck. Go to ramtrucks.com. The new 25-mile-per-gallon Ram truck hitting showrooms now. Guts, glory, Ram.
Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers are state-of-the-art ambulatory surgical centers where surgeons perform a broad range of outpatient surgical procedures, everything from orthopedic and sports medicine to gastroenterology and neurology. Their centers offer a safe, convenient, high-quality, and lower-cost alternative to inpatient hospitalization. For more information, log on to bedfordsurgical.com or call them at 603-622-3670. That's 603-622-3670. Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers. High-quality care at a reasonable price.
Do you search the house for hidden bottles of alcohol? Do you feel like a failure because you can't get a problem drinker to quit? Do you care about someone who seems to care more about drinking than anything else? Do you think if the drinker stopped drinking, your other problems would be solved? Living with a problem drinker can be scary and lonely, but no one has to face such stressful problems all alone. Local Al-Anon family groups can help. Women and men who have experienced the same difficulties are willing to share what worked for them. There is hope and help in Al-Anon family groups for anyone who has been affected by someone else's drinking. Are you troubled by someone's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. For more information, go to alanonfamilygroups.org or call 1-888-4-AL-ANON to find an Al-Anon meeting near you.
When major sports news breaks or when covering play-by-play, ESPN New Hampshire is the #1 place to turn, according to the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters. This is ESPN New Hampshire. ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
The BG Cardinals are undefeated in high school lacrosse play. They'll host their rivals from Derry and the Pinkerton Astros tonight at 7. BG coach Chris Cameron talked about the matchup with the Astros on FNL Lacrosse.
For Pinkerton, we're going to pretty much play our game. I mean, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to 10-man ride. We're going to run. We're going to try to get the ball back whenever we can. We ride hard. Offensively, we're going to run our different sets. Defensively, we know that Jake Lasoskis and Sean DeLay at the midfield are going to be their guys.
This much-anticipated game is a rematch of the 2013 championship game. The Bruins put themselves in a corner once again, but this time were able to fight back against the Montreal Canadiens to tie the series at 1 apiece. Game 3 is tomorrow up in good old Montreal. The Red Sox enjoy the day off before they start a series against the Cincinnati Reds at Fenway Park tomorrow. That game is at 7:10. You can hear the call of the game right here, starting with Red Sox pregame, always at 6:25 on ESPN New Hampshire. Los Angeles Kings have recalled Lyndon Bay, Colin Frazier, and 4 other Monarchs after the Eastern Conference regular season champs lost to the Norfolk Admirals in Game 4 of their playoff series, eliminating them from Calder Cup contention. And the Patriots this past hour have signed veteran defensive end Will Smith, formerly of the New Orleans Saints. Details of the contract are unknown at this time. I'm Tom Rowe. The Sports Center update is brought to you by Quiznos, located on 290 Main Street in Nashua. It's always lunchtime. Get to Quiznos.
New Hampshire sports fans know they can set it and forget it. This is the home of the New Hampshire sports fan. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Christian and King.
All right, a lot of texts to get to right here. First text is Jason Kidd worse than Vogel. Yes. Yes, 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 a million times yes. Next text, if Nesson isn't going to cover Bruins hockey anymore, then who is? That would be NBC. Texter. NBC, CNBC, NBC, SN, whatever else. It's some faction of NBC will carry the game.
NBC Sports Group.
The NBC Sports Group will be carrying the Bruins game. Another texter, how about the Monarchs screwed the Monarchs by choking in the playoffs? Can't argue with that. They did choke in the playoffs, no question.
Well, what they did was they lost game 2 at home.
Yeah, that was it.
Game 2 at home, you got to win at least 1 down in Norfolk.
Mm-hmm.
You got to win 2 out of 3 on the road. They didn't do it.
Now, that's true. Although no matter what, you can't.
Well,
say
they would have been screwed if they had got to game 5 and they had to play it on the road.
Right. But you really, no matter what, you can't deny the fact that losing home ice advantage, no matter how the series went under this new schedule, it should have never come to that. That's really the point, I think. And that's the point that I've been making anyway with the Monarchs. And then there's a couple other texts, and they are directed toward Jim Sensabella. And then Christian, read the text to Jim. Listen, I don't read texts that aren't directed to either Tom or I. Okay? If you want to text another show, you text another show. That's fine. There's only one other show you can text because all the other shows are national. But that's you want to text Jim Sensabella on his show, you go ahead and text him. I'm not like your little pirate who takes a message over and gives them to Jim Sensabella. No, that's not how this works here.
Right.
You want to text our show, you text our show. You want to text Jim Sensabella, you text him. If he doesn't read your text, I can't help you there. That's the best I can do. But we read almost every text. Except that what happened here is it got our text board gets it freezes sometimes. So then you hit reset and they all come at once, and that's just what happened here. So yeah, but yeah, you want to text Jim Sensabella, text him. Don't text us and tell us to give him the message. That's not how this works. Okay, you text us, and our texters are great, but we're not going to be passing messages along to other people. That's not how. We're not paid enough to do that. We're not mailmen here. Okay, mailmen get paid a lot more than.
Do you want to tell Justin? No, I just say.
Right. Tell Justin what?
Nothing. That's all right.
I'm going to go tell him. All right, 603-883-9900. Your phone number, 883-9900. Text line 50352. Up and running right now. And, yeah, let's see. Before we get this out of the way, Tom, did you hear V. Stiviano's interview on 2020?
Barbara Wawa interviewed her, right?
No. Barbara Wawa is going to interview Donald.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I thought
he
Barbara
said,
Wawa
I will not do any interviews with anybody except Barbara Walters.
Oh, wow. Somebody as old as him.
Yeah. And coincidentally, Brian Gumbel, which I thought was interesting.
Really?
No, just kidding.
No, okay.
You think you'd do an interview with Brian Gumbel?
No, I don't think he
Hell
would.
no, he wouldn't.
No.
He wouldn't even sit in the same room with Brian Gumbel. But no, he said I'm only going to do the interview with Barbara Wawa, and that's it. And I won't do an interview with 2020. So who steps in? V. Stiviano says, I will do the interview with 2020.
Who interviewed her?
You
don't know?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know who other people are in 2020.
What were the pearls of wisdom that she had to drop?
Basically, she was very. I don't even know how you can describe this. She said that she thinks that she still very much loves Donald Sterling very much.
Oh, of course she does.
Still feels like he feels very alone right now.
Of course he does.
Says that she said it was creepy. She said he's my silly rabbit and I'm his silly rabbit. Yeah.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Also,
silly rabbit.
Yeah.
Twixa for kids.
Yeah. She's definitely into tricks. There's no question about that.
Yeah, exactly.
She turned some tricks.
Is that documented?
That she's a prostitute?
Has that been documented?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
All right.
But you know what? I'll say this. You get a real good look at her. I'm sure she was like really hot when she was like in college or whatever. But she's 32 years old now, and I guess I don't know what it is. She must have had a lot of work done or whatever. But when they got real close and they got her at just the right angle, she looked like a dude in drag.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
She really did. When they zoomed in and she was talking and sort of, it's just, once they catch her right at the angle, and it's just like, that looks like a dude.
Yeah, could be.
And then I thought, well, maybe she's a very, because if that's a dude trying to look like a woman, it's doing a pretty good job. I don't think she's like that great, but, passing enough that I wouldn't notice. I would say there's a good-looking woman over there. And I find out it's a dude later. I'm like, oh, man. But, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, maybe she is a dude. Maybe that's like Donald Sterling's thing, is he wanted like a really feminine-looking transgender woman. I mean, that's who we wanted around.
What did she have to say?
Basically, that she feels horrible for what happened to Mr. Sterling. She doesn't believe he's a racist. She doesn't. Basically,
did she admit to illegal? I mean,
no, she said she didn't.
She didn't do it.
No.
So who did?
She did, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Of course she did.
Right, because nobody's looking to see who did it.
Right.
Because they know it was her.
Everybody knows it was her.
Right, exactly.
She got the jump on it. She was in the middle of some lawsuit with the wife, and this all started coming out, and it was obviously her. She is the reason why that this is all happening, and she's like acting like, she's still on his side. Some of these people, I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I think you have to be a special kind of person to be Donald Sterling's personal prostitute female lady slave or whatever she was.
Well, she's like one of a few, right? Was there a line of succession?
I don't know.
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
She was the only one that had tapes of them, I guess. But that's
she was an archivist.
Yes, of course.
Right.
She went to school for that, I think.
Right.
Anyways.
Hit record.
Right.
Hit
yeah.
stop.
Indeed.
Hit play. Hit rewind. Right. That's it's a lot of money that goes into getting a degree for that.
It does.
I know.
Indeed. 603-883-9900. It was just the whole thing was just funny. I mean,
she's loving this. I mean, this is
This is the most attention she's ever going to get.
Right, exactly. And she'll be, she'll have her own reality TV show.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the actual because some of the quotes in here are actually pretty funny, but our internet's running very slowly right now, so that may not be happening. Yep, it's not happening. Anyways, you're going to have to trust me. It was pretty funny.
Oh, I bet. When was it aired?
I want to say on Friday.
On Friday? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was. Friday or Saturday.
The Bruins game Thursday night took a lot out of me. Friday I was a zombie.
Yeah.
So, no. Well,
Oh, I guess she did talk to Barbara.
Did she? Yeah, I thought she did. Somebody
Yeah,
told me
you're right. It was
Barbara. Somebody told me Barbara interviewed her.
I know. You know why? Because I didn't hear the questions. I just heard her answers.
Oh, okay.
But I guess Barbara's going to be interviewing
Barbara's
him
getting
too.
him too, huh?
Yeah, sounds it.
How about that?
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
That's just great stuff.
She said that she was Donald Sterling's right-hand man, right arm man. She said a lot of strange things.
A lot of dumb things.
Let me see. Where is...
How long has she been, part of the Sterling entourage?
I don't know.
Did she say? Did they say?
V says she's wearing her famous visor because it masks her pain. Didn't explain why a person in such pain would seek out every place possible where there's paparazzi and all the restaurants in Hollywood.
Right.
She said Donald Sterling's friends were jealous of her and were talking smack about people she hung with, thugs and the like.
Okay.
According to her, they got translated into black people in Sterling's head.
All right.
TMZ broke the story. V and Sterling showed up at the Four Seasons Hotel, spent hours together. As Barbara Walters Anderson Cooper lobbied Sterling to sit for an interview, Sterling eventually turned them down, saying he wasn't ready. So, he's probably
I think it'll be a while before you see Sterling on the air.
Yeah.
I think, he'll go on the air when it all calms down.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll calm down in another 2 months.
Yeah, maybe.
At the end of the NBA season. That's when it'll calm down.
Kind of depends on what his lawsuit, how that gets off the ground.
I don't know.
Because he's suing the league for $1.7 billion.
And the NBA has got to appoint someone to take over the franchise right now, to be the CEO of the acting CEO of the franchise. So they will appoint someone to do that. But for Clipper fans, as long as Doc Rivers is in charge of the basketball, I don't think they have anything to worry about there.
Yeah, probably not.
So, but that is going to be one whale of a series between OKC and the Clippers. That is going to be a tremendous series. It should be anyway. If it doesn't go 7, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. Should be a great one.
It really should be good.
I hope Brooklyn-Miami is a good one, too.
I don't think it's going to be that
You don't think
great.
so?
I don't think Brooklyn's got enough to do that. No,
maybe not.
They swept them during the regular season.
Yeah.
But, Detroit took 3 out of 4 from the Bruins, too. That didn't matter.
That's a good point. However, I'll say this. I like the matchup. I do.
Yeah.
I think that Brooklyn has better guards. They have a better rotation of guards. They can sort of go in there and run Chalmers and Cole and Wade and those guys and tire them down. I don't know what they're going to do with LeBron, but Paul Pierce and LeBron James have historically had great series against each other.
It's almost like your Celtics are playing with Garnett and Pierce playing.
It's a lot like that,
It
really is. I'd say if Brook Lopez wasn't out, this would be. I'd say this could go 7, and I'd say Brooklyn could win.
No,
but
look,
I don't know if I'd say that now.
I wouldn't predict any length of games because. Look, who would have thought half the series in the first round would have gone?
I know. More Game 7s than there's ever been in the first round in NBA
my
history.
God. You had 3 Game 6s on Friday. You had 3 Game 7. You had 3 Game 7s on Saturday. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is it was one of the best first rounds, as Matt Langoni said last week. When we talked to him last Monday, it was one of the best first rounds in the NBA.
Yep.
Ever had.
And no Celtics, Lakers, or Knicks.
Yep.
And
I know.
Still somehow the league survives.
Well, the competition has been great.
What do you know?
It does take a lot out of it when they're not there, but the competition
hasn't taken anything out for me.
Oh, for me,
I think this has been an awesome first round.
It's been great. No, don't take it about it.
The fact that the Celtics, Knicks, or Lakers weren't in it hasn't bothered me at all.
Yeah,
not even a little bit. I don't care.
I wish.
It's Jersey. So what? I'm a Celtics fan, so yeah, I'd like to see the Celtics in it, but that's taken nothing away from this first round at all.
Right.
Not to me, anyway. 603-883-9900. That's your phone number, 883-9900. Text line 50352. Christian and King, can I finish when we come back?
Son lives across the country. I want to send him to the playoff game for his birthday. With the 4-star rated Western Union app, I can send him money conveniently from anywhere and make sure it gets there by tip-off. Western Union is making things so simple nowadays. And right now, they've got a special promotion going on. Download the free Western Union mobile app, and if you're a new customer, you can send a qualifying money transfer for 0 fee by using the promo code 2014-2014.
One discount per transfer, no cash value, void where prohibited. This offer expires May 18th. Western Union also makes money from currency exchange.
Fox tonight.
It's power.
Oh my God.
It's the moment everyone has been waiting for.
No way. Trigger an alarm and I'll blow your head off.
24, the series that changed the face of television, returns for an epic 12-episode event.
Why are you doing this, Jack?
I'm trying to prevent an attack on President Heller.
Kiefer Sutherland stars in 24, Live Another Day.
If an American president is assassinated on foreign soil, you're looking at a world war.
24 premieres tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
As a home buyer in today's fast-paced real estate market, you need a competitive edge. You need an advantage that helps your offer stand out from the rest. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I'm excited to tell you how to get just the edge you're looking for as a home buyer. This brand new program is called Mortgage First, and it's exclusively from Quicken Loans. With Mortgage First, the name really says it all. Unlike a pre-approval, we'll verify your assets, income, and credit to underwrite you up front, giving you the upper hand on the competition before you even start shopping. As a strong, confident buyer, you can stay focused on finding the right place for you and your family, knowing you're approved by Quicken Loans. To learn more about Mortgage First, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That number again is 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Restrictions apply. Rate terms and conditions may change until final loan approval. This is not an offer to lend. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
50 years ago, we set out to bring the fun and excitement of winning to the people of New Hampshire, becoming the first lottery in the nation. You might say, we invented Lucky. We're celebrating with a variety of game promotions, a $50,000 giveaway, Facebook and NH Lottery replay promotions, and store events across New Hampshire. We even have a special limited edition $25 scratch ticket, Granite Millions, with the highest payout to players ever, $25 million. Visit NHLottery.com/lucky for all the ways you could win.
There are a lot of moms who should be remembered on Mother's Day. Now, obviously, your mother, but then there could be a mother-in-law, there could be a grandmother, grandmother-in-law. Just make sure you're remembering them. And remembering them with the help of the Dan Patrick Show. Sherry's Berries. Giant freshly dipped strawberries from Sherry's Berries. Starting in $19.99, over a 40% savings. Now, you go to berries.com, Berries, berries.com. You'll see the microphone, you type in Patrick, and you're good to go. For my listeners, double the berries for just $10 more. You got white milk, dark chocolatey goodness. You got chocolate chips on top, decorative swizzle, nuts. 40% off from Sherry's Berries. You got to use the code Patrick when you order. 866-FRUIT02, or even better, you can go to Berries, Berries, berries.com, and you click on that microphone. You'll see that in the right-hand corner. You type in Patrick. Go to berries.com, click on the microphone, type in Patrick. Hurry, this offer ends Friday. Sherry's Berries. We love them.
When major sports news breaks or when covering play-by-play, ESPN New Hampshire is the #1 place to turn, according to the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters. This is ESPN New Hampshire. ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
The season is unfortunately over for the Manchester Monarchs. They were eliminated from the playoffs after Norfolk's Game 4 win. Now with that season done, the Los Angeles Kings will recall 6 Monarchs that include Lyndon Vay to help in their NHL playoff run against the Anaheim Ducks. Sticking to the NHL, the Bruins finished off a tremendous comeback in Game 2 against Montreal this past weekend. Sean Thornton spoke after the game, saying this team still needs to get better as we move along.
Definitely not. These next games will be a lot tougher, I'm sure. I mean, we can't be taking any nights off, that's for sure, not this time of year. So they're going to be a lot better. So we're going to have to look at some things. We're going to have to do better in some areas, too. We're a long ways from where we need to be.
Game 3 is tomorrow night in good old Montreal. The Red Sox will start a series with the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow at Fenway Park. Today, they have the day off to recuperate after their series against the Athletics. When they are on, you can hear the call of the game right here, starting with Red Sox pregame on ESPN New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats are riding a 4-game losing streak heading into their home series against Binghamton, and the Patriots have signed veteran defensive lineman Will Smith. He was formerly a starter on the Saints defensive line. I'm Tom Rowe. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Capital Auto Auction in Manchester. Buy cars like the dealers do every Saturday beginning at 11 a.m. Find out more at capitalautoauction.com.
Local sports talk for the New Hampshire sports fan. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Christian and King.
All right, ESPN New Hampshire, Christian and King, 603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. I'm Christian Arcand, that's Tom King. We're just about out of here. We're going to pass things off to Mr. James Sensabella. He will take you up till 6 p.m., followed by the High School Insiders, Nick Anastas, 6:20. Then at 6:30, we got Red Sox pregame as Felix DeBron takes the mound tonight. Going up against
numbers tomorrow to CC Sabathia.
Yeah, right. As the Red Sox.
I bet he does better than CC did.
I think
or
probably.
C.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Then again, it's Cincinnati, and they're no joke. They got some boppers in that lineup. Cincinnati
Have the Reds
Reds
been
do.
to Fenway? Is this at Fenway or is it on a road?
Fenway Park, yeah.
Have they been to Fenway in interleague play before?
I can't recall them being. I don't remember them ever playing the NL Central.
Well,
like this.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know because the question.
I don't remember them playing Cincinnati at all.
The reason I ask is, this could be the Reds' first appearance at Fenway Park since the '75 World Series.
Yes, in '75.
Which was
seems impossible.
Which was way before your time, but that World Series was a classic.
One of the best ever. Yeah,
well, it was unbelievable.
And I wasn't alive, but obviously I know about it now. I feel like
you were there in spirit.
I was right. Interleague play's been around a while now. Okay, I mean like interleague play's been around almost 20 years. Right? Wasn't it 94 when they first started?
Yeah. Well, mid-90s, late 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So how in 20 years could
could
Cincinnati not have been there? It just seems impossible.
I don't remember.
They must have played and we just didn't care.
I don't know. We'll have to, peruse through some
stuff. You and I probably didn't know each other at the time. Maybe that had something to do with it. All right, let's get to Can I Finish here.
Just a little puke then.
Right.
Pay attention.
Before we run out of time. Hold on.
Can I finish? 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 Please, can I finish?
I can't answer your question unless you let me finish.
Hold it there, cracker boy. I'm not finished.
The following takes place between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Yeah, or 3 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, the return of the Jack Bauer Power Hour. 24 returns.
2 hours then.
A special 2 hour. Now, I heard there's only going to be 12 episodes.
Right, but they're not all 2 hours.
Okay.
So they're going to cut through a few hours during the show.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
12 episodes of 24. What are we talking about here?
Well, here's the thing. Do you know they're still taping this thing?
Oh, they are?
It's not like this is all done in a can. They're still doing it.
Huh. But still, it's going to be 12 episodes, no matter what.
Right, and they're still doing it.
That's silly. No, it makes sense because that's how they always do this show. I mean, I know that they've started season, had them out, and then still hadn't filmed the end yet.
Right.
When the pilot started.
Right.
So that was when there were 24 episodes. And there have to be 24 episodes because the whole freaking point of the show
is 24.
Is that each show is an hour in the day. So what, are they going to be 12 and now we're going to have to pretend like, oh yeah, that was 2 hours.
Well,
really
it might
one?
make up, it might, So.
I don't like it. I like that the show is back. I miss Jack Bauer in my life, but I don't like that. Anyway, that's not even my Can I Finish. I just wanted to say something about that right there. Here's my Can I Finish, Tom. A hedge fund manager bought the most expensive home in America over the weekend, $147 million. And let's see if you can guess where this home is. Where do you think the most expensive home in America is located?
Beverly Hills.
Wrong.
South Florida.
Right coast, but wrong.
Maine.
No. Close. You're getting closer.
Not New Hampshire? No way.
No.
All right. I'm getting closer. Massachusetts?
Keep going south.
Jersey?
No.
All right. Tell me where.
The Hamptons.
Oh, all right. Yeah, okay.
East Hampton.
All right.
Of New York's Long Island.
Right.
Which I wouldn't have guessed would be the most expensive house in America. In the Hamptons, there's big houses up there, but I wouldn't have thought, you think of like these mansions in Beverly Hills and on the crest of these oceans and anything on Long Island, and it's like, really? How did that get in the mix?
Right.
And I'm looking at this house, and it's like beachfront property. It's really nice, but the house doesn't look that great. I don't know. $147 million. That is pretty big. Anyway, the East Hampton home formerly belonged to Chris Brown. Not that Chris Brown, a different Chris Brown, managing director of Tweedy, Brown Company investment firm, who was still contested after his death. The Post reported the previous record for a home sale was just set 2 weeks ago for a house in Greenwich, Connecticut, which sold for $120 million. Now, Greenwich, Connecticut, or Beverly Hills, I get. Hamptons, I don't know. When I think of the Hamptons, I think of vacation houses. I don't think of people who live there who would spend $147 million to live there year-round.
Right, but they like the idea of having a house in the Hamptons.
I guess so.
It's all about appearances.
And their two horses, Snoopy and Prickly Pete.
Speaking of horses, none of us had the Derby right. So
no, that's right.
Yeah, the favorite one, actually.
Yeah, California, whatever.
Real quick, how'd you like to be Heath Bell right now?
I don't know.
Heath Bell, released by Tampa Bay.
Oh, damn, really?
Do you know how much they owe him?
$12 million?
Close.
Really?
$7,278,689 and a partridge in a pear.
Not a bad deal for pitching your way out of baseball. All right, that's our show. I want to say thanks to Shred for jumping on with us. Great stuff from him as always. We will be back tomorrow at 12 noon. Same time, same place. We'll talk with Joe Haggerty and get you ready for the Canadians and Bruins Game 3 of that series. All right, for Tom King, I'm Christian Arcand. We're back tomorrow at noon. Talk to you then. Later.